Oh, shit, I don't know where I saved it to suddenly. Oh, I found it. Thank you, Asian Andy 94. This is possibly the most important piece of artwork I've ever received. I introduce to you 3 Hilda Moon. It's really good. The use of that bottom left image is very effective. The top left one is also really good. I was looking at that and then looking at Hilda, and I was just like, I love you, but I don't know how you're real. What's the difference between Powerade and Gatorade? Honestly, I think Powerade is better, but I couldn't really tell you why. Gatorade is gay. Shit. So anyway, let's play some Apollo Justice. I already skimmed over. I didn't look at any of the answers or anything, but I skimmed over the guide just to kind of get a feel of how long this trial is for the end of this case, and it's not long. It's not too long. We really are at the end of it. So hopefully it won't take me more than like an hour and a half, because I really, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even tell you why. I just don't have that much time, and I really don't want this to take like 2.5 hours to do. So I thank you for allowing me to stream, but also be a filthy liar and open a guide while I play this. Have you tried strawberry lemonade Powerade before? I can't drink lemonade. It makes me vom. So I'm afraid I would not be able to. I don't dislike the taste of lemonade. It just makes me vomit for some reason. Something about the combination of lemon and sugar makes me throw up. Anyway, finger guns. Thank you for following. Let's play some Polo Justice. Oh shit, when that piano hits. I do like the lime cucumber Gatorade. But I don't usually I can buy Powerade in like those packs that are multiple, like they sell like 6 or 8, I think 6 packs of Powerade, you know? And you can't buy Gatorade like that, so at least not where I go shopping. So anyway, take 2.5 hours, I dare you. I don't have time! Anyway. Well, this is it. Today's the day it all goes down. And then there was yesterday. This meeting is over. Sorry. This is some shit that just happened. We're remembering it. Just give us 5 more minutes. We can call them back after that. Sorry, no go. Come on, piano boy, we're leaving.
Darian, wait!
I never liked you. Either of you. Huh? The thought of not being able to drink lemonade hurts. Well, that's my life, sadly. I can't have it. I can't drink, like, Mike's Hard Lemonade. And it's sad, because I have tasted it and I'm like, this is aight, but it'll just make me blow chunks super hard. So. But I can eat lemons like apples, but I cannot drink lemonade. Tell me how that makes sense.
Darn it, we were so close. He was about to tell us. Hey, Apollo.
He didn't want us to hear what Maki had to say. And I think I know why. Time to bring down a little justice. And die. What was that? He is heard, but unseen.
Who's that talking?
Valid Grammar. Using the door like an average muggle, no less. Haha, Harry Potter.
You aren't the witness today, are you, Uncle Valent?
A preposterous proposition. How could I stand upon the stand? Why, my secret to be free for the plucking. I might even have to sign autographs. That is why I intend to remain hidden for the entire day. Ah, thank fuck.
Ooh, with vanishing magic?
Indeed! I will jump upon an express train and express myself to the next town over. But before I go, a word of warning.
Warning? What?
A grand glamour resides at the root of all that has happened. Do not forget this truth. Glamour? A spell, a sorcery, a great illusion. Miss Trucy, though it pains me to part so, I need to get in line for a ticket. Farewell! That was stupid. And there he goes. He sure seemed happy about that illusion thing. Oh, big illusions are the bread and butter of a magician. You can't pull off a show without one. The big illusion is always a spectacle to remember. Usually involves cutting up things. Or the Eiffel Tower. I didn't catch the end of what she said. Anything, really. Something about elephants? So he was talking about what we saw at the concert.
L'Amour's disappearing act.
and Prosecutor Gavin's exploding guitar.
I wonder what he meant by it being at the root of all that has happened.
Well, it's about time. Shall we go? Gun? I'm sorry, I just realized my Desmond is not. Kululu Master, thank you for following. I'm sorry that you had to hear that. I posted dog and Mika didn't say anything. I'm sorry, I was reading the dialogue. Rasperville, you posted this dog! Ah! Yes? The scheduled starting time for the trial has been changed. The trial will not be commencing until 10:30 a.m. Sorry for the inconvenience. Huh? Did something happen? This is a first. It was by the judge's request, some urgent personal business. Great. I bet he stayed up too late last night watching courtroom dramas. Apparently he's visiting the hospital again. The hospital? I believe it was mentioned that the Chief Justice's son is unwell. Apparently his condition worsened considerably this morning. The Chief Justice's son.
Oh, that's right. Remember yesterday morning? The judge said he had to go visit him after the trial.
There's an article about it in the newspaper. If you care to read about it yourself. Boy, I wonder how this... Oh boy. Incuritis? Where have I heard that before? We just don't know.
I'll let you read that article for us, Apollo. Just leave the TV guide page to me.
Try not to lose the page with the funnies if you can. Apollo likes to read newspaper comics. Very cute. I bet he really do you think Apollo Justice, like, really loves Garfield? Do you think he sees Garfield comics and he's like, that Garfield? He doesn't like Mondays. Oh man, I wish I could just cancel the stream and we could all just sit around together and watch Lasagna Cat on YouTube, like as a group stream. Like I don't do anything, we all just watch Lasagna Cat. Have you guys watched Lasagna Cat on YouTube? You should. Incuritis is still the best name I've heard for a disease in a game. Same. I see Apollo as a Peanuts fan. Oh yeah, I could see that too. He definitely needs a little bit of both. I could see Apollo looking over at Gavin and being like, man, the quality of Dilbert comics has really gone down recently. And then he's just like, when are you gonna suck this dick? Anyway. My apologies for the delay. Court is now in session for the trial of, how do you say this name again? Maki Tobai, our suspect fortissimo. Right, it's his trial in any case. The defense is prepared, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready to rock. Is something wrong, Your Honor? No, well, yes. It's just I've been friends with the Chief Justice since we were students. It pains me to see him going through such a difficult time.
Incuritis, was it? That article said there's no known cure.
Judge, let me say with all honesty, I feel your pain. But now is not the time for tears. Yeah, fuck your problems. Now is the time for law. Indeed. We left off at quite the juncture yesterday. I asked Interpol about that number. IPIXX 314206. The agent registered under this number was Romain Latouche. Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Percent. It was a great help. Oh, no problem at all, Your Honor. I'll be headed out.
Wait, that voice just now. It was him, I'm sure of it.
I'm sorry, we've only seen this flashback like 16 times now. I've had enough. It was him?
That voice I heard talking to Mr. Latouche when I heard the gunshots fired. It was him. It was Mr. Darien.
No way. Quite a sensational ending. Who could have thought that Darien would guest star in the season cliffhanger as a suspect? I asked the prosecution to look into this matter. Please tell the court your findings. Darien Crescent is a member of my band, the Gaviners. He's also a detective, making the current charges serious indeed. Yet, after investigation, I found no cause to alter our case or file new charges. And your reason is? Weren't you aware, Herr Joachim? He has an impeccable alibi. An alibi? Let us review the facts again, shall we? The concert held on the night of the shooting was in 3 sets. The Gaviners ripped up the stage during the first set. For the second set, our guest took center stage. The only performers appearing were myself, Lamoire, and Maki, along with a drummer and a bassist. The shooting in the dressing room, however, took place during the third set. Lamoire and the defendant, Maki Tobai, had left the stage at that point, and the Gaviners were already rocking. I was gonna make some joke about rocking and getting your shit rocked, and I don't know, he got shot. Party hard. This is when the 2 shots rang out at the scene of the crime. Shots heard by Detective Emma Skye, mind you.
And Apollo, you heard them too, right?
I sure did. Furthermore, Lamoire herself witnessed the moment of the crime. Well, perhaps I should say she heard the moment of the crime, when she claims to have heard Mr. Latouche and Detective Crescent talking. But that's impossible! Detective Crescent was... Precisely. Detective Crescent was on stage getting his groove on, no less. Bam! Voila! A perfect alibi! Does the defense have anything to add to this? It's true. When I heard those gunshots, he must have been on stage. Still, there's something here that doesn't quite add up. I just like that we're using a classic Ace Attorney track right here. It appears the defense has no objections. I believe we can safely say that Derek Crescent's alibi has been acknowledged, which means that Lamoire was sadly mistaken. Her testimony cannot be true. Very well. Of course, if we disregard her testimony, then I see no evidence keeping us from declaring a verdict. If indeed there are no objections...
Uh-oh, Apollo, if he declares a verdict now... but Professor Gavin's case is airtight!
Lamoire might have been lying to protect Maki. How can I rely on her testimony? Wait, what about yesterday in the detention center?
About the case? What about the case?
He wants to tell us about Mr. Latouche's death? This meeting's over. My hair is too large for the both of us. Maki was trying to tell us something, I know it. Maybe the best thing to do is ask him, under oath. Very well, the court finds the defendant, what was his name again? Your Honor! No, that wasn't it. It was something like Marquise or Mr. Justice? Your Honor, before you declare a verdict, I would like to call another witness. Exactly who else do you need to hear from? A witness who, until now, has not been given a chance to speak in this court. Because he doesn't speak English. You don't mean... I do. The defense calls the defendant Maki Tobai to the stand. What? But he doesn't speak English. We'll use an interpreter. Interpreter? I'm afraid you'll have to look elsewhere. I only speak a few phrases such as, I love you and where is the toilet? The defense would like to request Lamoire as the interpreter. Lamoire? But there's a possibility she's protecting the defendant. But she'd be interpreting for the defendant. Why would she lie? This is most unusual. Bravo, Herr Wahid. Herr Judge, the agrees with the defense's request. If Lamoire lies, I'll be able to tell. Even my limited knowledge of the language should be enough for that. Well, if both the prosecution and the defense are for this, I see little cause for refusal. Finally, some progress. Bailiff, please show the defendant and Lamoire to the witness stand. Aw, look at them standing together. So cute. I suppose there's a first for everything. Shall we proceed? Your name to begin with. If you would, Lamoire. Yes. He says Maki Tobai. Fuck. I mean... Maki. He says Maki Tobai, the defendant. This is certainly a first for this courtroom. Not that we really needed an interpretation of that message in particular. So far, so good. Very well, Mr. Justice, if you would. Huh? If I would what, Your Honor? Would what? You called the defendant to the stand, did you not? What would you like to have him testify about? What do I want him to testify about? I hadn't thought that far yet.
Apollo! Aren't you going to ask him what he was about to tell us yesterday?
How can I if I don't know what he was saying?
Excuse me a moment, if I might speak.
Yes, Lamoire.
Just now, Maki said there's something about which he wishes to testify.
He wants to testify about something? What could it be? What sort of testimony is he talking about?
One moment, please.
the suspense is killing me! What? What? Well, Amoir. According to Maki, he has proof of his innocence. What? Oh my god, his outfit. He's so fucking cute. This is a surprise. Yahoo! Victory, Apollo! We did it! This is sounding too good to believe, and I know what that usually means. Well, if that's true, then this is vital testimony. L'Amour! Maki. Please testify to the court. Very well. He says that word of Mr. Latus's death came as a great shock, but if the killing truly followed the lyrics of my song, that is he, could not have done it. He says that because the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them. I see. He wouldn't have understood the English lyrics to the song. That would prevent him from following them so closely. I wondered what he meant by proof. It's kind of bullshit proof to just be like, I couldn't coincidentally murder someone a way that follows a song. I don't speak no goddamn English. I just finished my red Powerade. Now I have to drink the blue Powerade. Will that cause, like, physical unrest in my body if I combine red and blue Powerade within my stomach? But it's so good. This stream brought to you by Powerade. Not sponsored or anything. It's just brought to you by it, because if I didn't have it, I wouldn't have the energy to be doing this. You know what I'm saying? Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Why, you would only have to ask L'Amour to know the meaning of that song. L'Amour? Did you ever explain the lyrics of that song to him? I did tell him generally what the song was about, but never in so much detail, and he never asked. Has my oft-repeated warning already fled that forehead? L'Amour might be protecting the witness. Well, anyway, let us proceed with the cross-examination. Fuck it. Mr. Justice, if you would. Yes, Your Honor. Something's hidden in that testimony, I know it. Just have to trust my bracelet to tell me where. It worked yesterday. It'll work today. Until it doesn't. Yeah! I guess I'll press the statements. Were Machi and Mr. Latus close? Yes, after we traveled around the world on tour together.
Objection!
L'Amour, this is Maki's cross-examination, not yours, but I knew the answer. This is a court of law, we'll play by the book. I understand. When Prosecutor Gavin's tough, he's really tough. Maki says he was very good friends with Mr. Latus. Mr. Latus was always a gentle man, never angry. We got along quite well. I never dreamed something like this would happen. Hey, how do I get Maki's hair on my head? Like, how do I get hair like that? I really want to have that hairstyle on my head. The Guitar Serenade, correct? Yes, the crime followed the lyrics of the song. The theft of the key ring, the burning guitar, and the bullet. This is why it could not have been me. Okay, at least this cross-examination won't take that long. Make a wig? Are you kidding me? No! I want my real-ass hair to look like that. Fuck that. Wigs? Pussy shit. By could not have done it, you mean... It is very simple. Maki could not have done all the things that happened that day, for all those things followed the song lyrics closely. Yeah, but what if that's a coincidence? He says because the lyrics are in English, he does not understand them. Would it be difficult for him to perform without knowing the meaning of the lyrics? I mean, he just plays piano. He did know what the song was about, its mood, shall we say. This was enough to play by. I told him it was a song about a guitar in love. It's not actually the guitar that's in love, strictly speaking. Oh, perhaps I misunderstood. Ah, no, not really. Yours is also a valid interpretation. Okay. No, it's my fault. I'm too used to singing in Borginian. It's much easier than trying to understand these English lyrics. Yay, I knew he was innocent. I believe he's too, Trucy. Except that this is stupid and dumb and wrong. Something's hidden in that testimony. It's the truth. Alright, I'm literally gonna look up what I'm supposed to do here. I guess I don't have any good ideas. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Okay. There we go. Oh shit, I was gonna try to do the thing. Yeah, if I had thought about it for a second. God, look at his beautiful eyes. There it is. Wait, can I get it? Achoo! 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 Son of a bitch. Achoo!
Gotcha! I appreciate the intercourse, acquaintance.
Stop it. Don't do that. Maki, you can't fool my eyes. You glanced toward her at the very moment Lamoir said the word English. Why? And don't bother interpreting that. He understands me. Maki, tell the truth. You can understand English, can't you? What are you saying? Of course he can't. Must he continue the charade? Mr. Justice, Maki says this. I know the word English. Huh? Before coming to this country, he heard me speaking English. He learned the name for this language, and that's all. What? Give me a break! Is that such an unusual word to understand? Do you not know Espanol, for instance? Well, yeah, but... I'm sorry, but he truly does not understand your language. Well, then explain this! How does he know the crime followed the lyrics? Have you always been such a suspicious-minded lad? Are you fucking serious, lady? This is a court of law. Christ alive. It's simple. So simple it hardly requires an explanation. He read about it in the newspaper. The English newspaper? The English-speaking newspaper for people who read English? The Virginian Daily Bugle. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! You can buy it in this country these days, you know. They have already begun to report about this case in our homeland. I was right! What's wrong, Mr. Justice? Your eyes, they're quite fierce all of a sudden. Maki is lying. Maybe it's time to show them proof that he's lying.
Take that!
I have here a Virginian newspaper, the Virginian Daily Bugle, as a matter of fact. Indeed, there is a feature article about the case. Could you read this for me, Maki? That's right, it doesn't mention the lyrics. What? What is this all about? I'm sorry, Maki. You couldn't have read about the lyrics in a Virginian newspaper. Do you guys like my Virginian accent? It's really convincing, isn't it? What does this mean? But I don't see how it's possible. I know. He must have heard the lyrics when the police were doing their questioning. Yes. Not possible. The subject of the lyrics was not brought up in police questioning. I read the full report myself. So, the lyrics weren't in the newspaper and the police didn't mention them. The only place you could have heard them was in this courtroom. In English, no less. The witness will explain himself. Maki says... He says... Yes? It is true I read the newspaper, but this is not where I learned the lyrics. I was mistaken. Now I remember. You remember? He says he heard of the lyrics from me. What? Is this true, Lamar? Yes, I'm afraid I had forgotten it myself. Then it looks like Head's been jumping to conclusions again. It seems so, yes. No. No! I was onto something! I know it! I can't let this chance slip away. Time is an issue today, Mr. Justice. Are you finished with the cross-examination? What are you gonna do, Apollo? If If I'm gonna keep on cross-examining, I'd better have an angle of attack. Or else... My bracelet's still reacting. Your Honor, please allow me to continue. If you must, you must. Very well. Witness? I understand. It was I who explained that the crime followed the song.
Hold it!
Exactly how much did you explain to Maki? This is a question for me, yes? This interpretation thing is getting old fast. I told him that Mr. Lucius has been killed and why he was a subject, and I told him the crimes of that day followed my song. Did you mention any particular words of the song relating to the case, such as heart? Yes, of course I explained this. He was quite surprised. Did we cross-examine this part? Okay, yeah, we did. I wasn't sure if we'd done that. Alright, let's see. Yep, she's doing her shtick from before, the swallowing bit. I wondered if she's gonna do that. The same tick as before. Do it again.
Gotcha!
Ah, damn it! I meant to do the achoo. Achoo. Lamoire, I'm currently cross-examining Maki. Why should you be uncertain? Me? Uncertain? Yes, you swallowed the very moment you told the court. It was I who explained. I see there's little point in trying to hide anything from you. Lamoire, are you indeed protecting someone? That is not a question with a simple answer. To tell the truth, I do not believe it myself. Then allow me to answer for you. Lamoire, you're protecting... Gotta see if Hilda can set it off. I probably should, but she's in the other room right now. Was this a trick question? Like, I figured she was protecting Maki. But... I'm gonna see what the guide says, because I'm a wiener. Okay, it is like a trick, because it is Maki. Who the fuck else would she be protecting? Just follow your logic? Yeah. It's one of those things where, like, the answer is so obvious that I'm like, wait, am I missing something? But no, she's just protecting Maki. Lamoire, you are protecting Maki. That's why you lied and told us that you had explained how the crime followed the song. I don't fault you for trying to help, but this is not the way. Maki, I believe you didn't do it, really. I trust you, but you've lied to us twice, and now you have Lamoire lying on your behalf. If this is going to work, you have to trust me, too. Your two lies cover a simple truth. You understand English. You have to. Ah! He said ah in English, that's how you know. He wasn't just like, Witness, is this true? Do you understand English? Yes, a little, only. What? First he could see, now he can talk. And you did not know about this, Lamoire. No, I did not. It's quite a surprise. Web cancer, thank you for following. How many secrets is this witness hiding? This is last. Maki. Could you tell us what really happened? No shooting! I did no shooting! So, you weren't in the dressing room when I heard those 2 gunshots, correct? Apparently, the answer to that question isn't simple either. I was in dressing room, behind desk. Manager, he on floor. Man, his English is not so good. He's cute. I love Maki. Which would be after the shooting, right? Which would be after the shooting, right? Wow, deliver a line, Mika. Damn. Then there was voice.
Voice or voices? Was it you and Emma, Apollo?
So when Maki went to the dressing room, Mr. Latouche had already been shot. And then when we came to the door, panel high up, I take off. Run away, run away! So it was you who escaped through the air vent. As the prosecution has held all along, no less. The defendant has admitted to being at the scene. Might we take this as a confession? No, he's clearly denied that he did it. I know shooting. Manager on floor. Already on floor. The victim had already been shot, you say. I find that hard to believe. Unluck, or XX unluck, XX. Thank you for following. The defendant understood the song lyrics. He was at the scene of the crime. This can only mean one thing. He is the shooter. Does the defendant have anything to say to this?
He's clammed up, Apollo.
Then let's ask Mr. Justice. Will you require any further testimony from the witness? Is that it? Is there nothing else I can get him to testify about? Wait, no, of course there is.
What is this cocoon, anyway?
The cocoon, the silk, is a potent cure. A cure?
Well, Maki, are you a smuggler?
He won't tell me. That cocoon has something to do with this. Maki, please, tell us the truth for your own sake. No, no more speak. Not to any of you. So much for your precious trust, Herr Jorrid. Hey, you were the one who didn't believe him. The thief from the Phoenix Wright game is the actual Cinnabon, though. I don't remember his name, though. Ron Delight. I know who you're talking about. Ron Delight. Regardless, this brings us to an impasse. It does seem the defense and defendant are at odds. Cloud Jupiter, thank you for following. I doubt we are likely to learn anything more of value should this continue. I see no other course but to declare a 5-minute recess. The defense will work things out with the defendant so that we might proceed.
Well, that's no nice. That's.
I only had 68 bits left. Must be rough, buddy. Wah wah. Apollo Eustace? That's Justice. Better learn how to say it if you ever want to get some. Believe, I know shooting! Maki claims Mr. Latouche was already down on the ground when he entered the room.
Maybe it was a trap and he walked right into it?
Suddenly, I hear revolver. Close. Very close. Then I hear voice. You heard gunshots? Yes, it's true. I hear revolver, but only sound.
I appreciate the intercourse,
Can
acquaintance.
you fuck off, Bones? Don't make me come over there. Wait, you're saying you went to the dressing room and found Mr. Latouche already dead?
I appreciate the intercourse, acquaintance.
Quaint, I like you. Don't ruin that. And found Mr. Latouche already dead and then you heard shots? If that's true...
So, you were at the scene of the crime when you heard those shots?
And you escaped through the air vent.
I know. Huh? What do you know?
I know if I opening vent, I can leave stage and backstage. So the vents went both to the stage and the backstage area? Is that what he means?
Hey, he's right. Look, Apollo.
Yeah. But how did you know it was connected like that?
Wait, I bet his father was the architect that designed the hall or something.
I hear this from Magician. Magician?
Don't look at me.
A magician, huh?
Well, at least we're clear on one thing. Maki didn't shoot Mr. Latouche.
Yeah, but what does that leave us with? We're supposed to say he went to the room to find the body and then he heard the shots? That one's gonna go over well in court. Not.
Apollo, you're his defense. You're supposed to believe whatever he says. Even lies. That's what Daddy always told me.
I'll just pretend you misheard him every time. So, what do we do?
You're sure you won't testify, Maki?
No talking. No.
Well, it was worth a shot.
A cocoon. I can't go home.
Can't go home?
I can't go home to Virginia. I do not want to go home. The penalty for taking a cocoon from Virginia is death. That's right, it's punishable by death. Of course. He's scared. Oh, well, I guess we'll have to try a different approach.
That's the spirit, Apollo. So what's your plan?
If Maki won't testify about it, we'll have to get someone else to testify.
Someone else?
I think we're out of time. Let's get back in there.
Right.
What, so you don't like me? Wink. Didn't your dad defend for a guy who hired an assassin, Trucy? Ah, details. Court is now back in session. Mr. Justice, have you sorted things out with the defendant? Yes, Your Honor. We had a good talk. Very well. So, will he testify? Your Honor, the defendant will not testify. What? Shame. And here I thought this was your big chance to turn the case around. Actually, it is. The defense would like to approach this case from a different angle, Your Honor. A different angle? If Maki won't testify, then I know who will. I'd like to cross-examine the witness in this case, Lamoire. Lamoire?
Objection!
What are you up to now? I thought we determined yesterday that Lamoire's testimony was insubstantial. There's nothing you can... Lamoire was taken to the hospital yesterday with injuries. What happened? She was assaulted, Your Honor. Assaulted? Someone wanted Lamoire dead. Thankfully, she was able to save herself. What? I've heard no such report. Prosecutor Gavin. Why would anyone be out to kill Lamoire? Can you think of a reason? Well, think of how she's known in our country. A singer from overseas who doesn't speak English, yes? Yet someone tried to keep her mouth shut. Who could that have been? You don't think? I do. It was the same person who shot Mr. Latouche. The killer was afraid of her, afraid of what she might say. The defense believes that something was hidden in her testimony yesterday. Something that the killer doesn't want to get out. Why am I getting a headache? This game is giving me a headache, but I don't know why. So am I to understand that this is what you're saying? Namely that there's a nugget of truth in Lamoire's testimony? A nugget we have yet to uncover? Exactly. When Lamoire was attacked, this has serious implications.
I appreciate the intercourse,
Not the
acquaintance.
implications I was looking for. Stop sending bits! Didn't even think you'd get that one out of me. Like, just stop it! Very well. There were some vague points in her testimony during yesterday's trial. Perhaps we did not inquire as deeply as we thought. Words. The court will hear Lamoire's testimony once more. There she is. Lamoire, I must apologize. We must ask you to stand again and speak. You need not apologize. I know that Maki is innocent, and I will do all that I can until the court realizes this. Let's review your testimony from yesterday. You told us that you heard 2 gunshots and the shooter's voice through the window. And that the voice belonged to Darian Crescent, yes? That is correct. At which point I proved she could
I
not
appreciate the intercourse, acquaintance.
Correct. She couldn't have heard any of those things. The small window at the scene was closed and was found to be quite soundproof. You have nothing to say to that, Mr. Justice? That's what I have to say. I don't know exactly what yet, but I know there's something there. There is, it seems, much you do not know. And yet it is my duty to hear him out. Bonesa, thank you for the 69 bits. Again. There, did you like that? You feel better now? Perhaps the witness would be so kind as to testify once more to the court. Of course, Your Honor.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. That's when I heard them, Mr. Latouche and the detective. I heard the faint sound of a gunshot and stopped. Then I heard another gunshot. There was a smell of gunpowder. I knew I must tell someone, but I was in a hurry, so I kept moving past the small window.
Pretty much the same as yesterday's testimony. Bruh, this game used to be holy, but here I am. Wait, what is that supposed to mean? I'm a longtime viewer on the Highlights channel. Oh, really?
I'm sorry. I'm not used to speaking much in this language. Perhaps my descriptions are lacking in some way. Yet everything I have said here is the truth.
Then it is my distinct displeasure to say this. What you have said to have happened is impossible. Do I have to repeat myself? Lemoire was attacked because of this testimony. What? Trucy?
Apollo, you know, for a moment there, you were pretty cool.
Maybe I do better when I don't try to think ahead. Very well, Mr. Justice. Perhaps you can coolly cross-examine the witness. Wet you IP? I have no idea how to say your name, but thank you for following. Alright, let's cross-examine. Is something wrong? I raise an objection, but she's saying the same thing she said before. Leave me alone! That's when I heard the whistle of Tooth and the detective. I heard the faint shot of gunshot stop. Well, I should still press these statements, right? Darian Crescent, I did not know his name at the time, but yes, it was him, the one who took the stand yesterday. How many times do I need to rhyme through? That's impossible. There's no way you could have heard him because the window at the scene was closed. I still love the giant sign that says do not open. Is that why? Of course. Apollo, if we keep asking the same questions yesterday, we won't get anywhere. She's right. Maybe there's a different angle I can try? Lemoire, do you by any chance remember what they were saying to each other? If so, please tell us. I've given it much reflection, but I was afraid of that she doesn't remember. I only heard one phrase clearly. A whole phrase? You remember something that was said? Why did you say anything yesterday? Though my memory is clear, I was afraid to speak. You see, I do not understand what was said. This could be it, the clue I've been waiting for. Well, what did he say? It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche. The shooter, then. Darian Crescent. Well, then what did he say? It's over. Press the switch. Now. Switch? And the shooter said this to the victim, Mr. Latouche? I thought it quite strange myself afterward. It's a mystery. What could it possibly mean? Mr. Justice, care to shed some light on this? Sure. I'd be delighted. It's, very, very vital. Maybe we could add that to the testimony. Maybe, Apollo? I'm assuming it would be this switch, right? I guess I should press the statement. And it was Detective Darian Crescent's voice? I'm sorry, as I said multiple times already, but I am looking at a guide because I don't want this to be a long stream today. Okay, yeah, I was right. I do have to press. Okay. So I checked the guide, but it's still exactly what I thought it was. Whoops. Do I actually need this guide after all? What of it? Well, maybe when he said press the switch, he really meant to say pull the trigger. No, stupid! God damn, Trucy, I know that you're 15, but you're dumb as fuck. 15? She's 15, right? I forgot. Yeah, she's 15. Objection. Hello? Press the switch. There's only one key that can unlock the mystery of those words. Oh? Yet there was nothing at the scene that could be called a switch, save the lights. True, there wasn't a switch at the scene, but it just so happens I have a switch right here. It certainly does look like a switch, doesn't it? The problem is, this was found not at the scene of the crime, but on the stage. The stage? Where the concert was held, yes. This was found hidden there. On the stage. Are you claiming that the voice Lemoire heard was someone to press this switch? It's a possibility.
Objection!
Oh, I'd call that impossibility. Why?
It's hardly necessary for me to remind the court of the layout of the concert forum. The stage is quite far from— Jesus Christ, why'd you make it flash bright red like a fucking alarm? Christ! Anyway, the stage is quite far from Lamar's dressing room. Not to mention that the Gaviners were in the middle of a concert on said stage. We aren't known for being a quiet band. You should shout all you wanted. You could shout all you wanted and not be heard. The detective's voice was loud, but certainly not a shout. So, too, have Jorge's cries of possibility fallen far short from being heard. Sorry, but he wouldn't have needed to shout. Excuse me? You heard what I said, or do you need me to shout it out for you? It would have been quite simple to be heard on the stage from that dressing room. Oh, wait, you like evidence? Okay, blah, blah, blah. Doody-doo. Yes, we know. Stupid earpiece. God. I'm sorry Claudia was born without brains. Prosecutor Gavin, perhaps you're familiar with this. Why is that? What? What is it? Where are we going? Who am I? Is that some kind of newfangled phone they invented while I wasn't looking? Yes. You turned down and looked at your feed and looked up and you're like, Blackberries, bitch. Look down again, look up, iPhones. This type of transmitter, a communications device. Communications? Device? From what I've heard that night, everyone on stage was wearing one of these. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, actually. They're for talking between band members. We all had one on. So do you admit that if you were wearing one of these, talking from the backstage to the stage would be simple? True, but wait, those send out an electronic signal. To avoid interference with the audio systems, their range is quite limited. Lamoire said it was about 30 feet, right? Look at this cross-section diagram for the— Yeah, that thing I just said. Exactly, the walk from the stage to the backstage seems whatever you just said, but the direct distance is less than 30 feet. No, that can't be. So when Lamoire heard the shooter's voice, he could have been talking to someone on stage. You're claiming this is the switch in question? Why did it have to be on the stage at the time? It could have been placed in a pocket and carried anywhere. Someone could have hit it on the stage after the fact. Hey, he's got a point. How do we know where it was when she heard the voice? When the shooter said press the switch? Well, I guess we don't. An unfortunate situation. I'm afraid that until we know where the switch was, there's little point in debating it. I was sure this was the way to go with this. What's the switch, anyway? We don't even know what that Dang. Wait a second. I do know what this switch is. Wait, what the fuck? Yeah, obviously, we set Emma on fire. Hopefully remember what it does. And if you follow that train of logic to its incredible conclusion, it ends up in proof that completely changes this case. What's up, Apollo? Apollo? We know about this switch, right? We know what it is. Yeah? Well, think of when it was used that day. Think of what happened. Emma was set on fire. How many times do we have to have this discussion? Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further information to share concerning the switch— Your Honor! Yes, Mr. Justice? I've been remiss in not telling this court before. I know what this switch is. Well, then it seems the defense is set upon linking this switch to the case. Let's see your evidence of this link. What evidence do you have to explain what the switch is? What, are you fucking serious? The thing!
Take that!
Prosecutor Gavin, you remember— What the fuck? That's that. That what? Is it another one of those newfangled— Jesus fucking Christ, I've had enough! This is so bad. I feel like we're just three geeses in lawyer suits running around in circles screaming at each other. What is this fucking— Is it another one of those newfangled phones? This is an igniter. What phone looks like this? Igniter? You mean it's like a lighter? Yes, actually. You aren't saying the switch is a remote. I am. This is a remote trigger for an igniter. What?
Look, I'll show you. Here, now hold on to this. Yeah, fire! Mr. Justice. I'm just imagining Apollo like throwing his hands in the air and he's just like, yes! The judge is on fire! I win! Who's the lawyer? I'm the lawyer! Mr. Justice, you will cease and desist from burning down this courtroom. Sorry, that was a bit more fire than I'd expected. My whiskers have caught on fire. Prosecutor Gavin, let me repeat myself. This switch is a remote igniter trigger. Doesn't that suggest something to you? You're talking about what happened to me, aren't you? Exactly. That night at the concert, there was one unusual burst of flame. When your guitar caught on fire in the middle of your performance. Also your skin. You looked like a flamin' hot Cheeto up there. Wasn't that part of the stage show, though? Prosecutor Gavin was entirely unaware such a thing had been planned, and the guitar that burned was a valuable keepsake. That's right! He got it in Virginia from Lemoire. He said the sound was amazing. Before it burned, of course. Now it just kind of smokes. The better the guitar, the brighter it burns. Herhochid! Yes? Don't tell me you're trying to tie these two things together. Those being the shooter's voice heard by Lemoire and the cart that will lead on the fire. I am. It's really simple when you think about it. Mr. Latouche and the shooter were at the crime scene. The shooter was wearing a headset. He ordered someone on stage to press the switch. The switch was pressed and the guitar caught fire. Well, that does seem to make sense, though something about it is bugging me. Can't quite put my finger on it. Really? It seems pretty simple to me. Jorge, don't destroy what little respect I have for you. I was expecting something a little more sensible. I guess I was wrong. What's this all about, Prosecutor Gavin? His simple story simply makes no sense. Think. That night my guitar caught fire, yes. The cause may have been this indeed. However, the guitar caught fire during the second set. Ah, that's right, of course! There he is again, in all his Dorito-y glory. The guitar caught fire during the more song. Indeed, yet the shooting happened during the third set. The two were utterly unrelated. Yes, that must have been what was bugging me. The whole premise for this is faulty. See, his story makes no sense. Are you sure about that? What exactly do you mean, Mr. Justice? Maybe it's not the premise for my explanation of the switch that's at fault. Maybe it's our premise for the entire case so far. What premise is this specifically? I'm glad you asked. I'm saying that maybe the killing didn't take place in the third act. What's this? But Detective Emma Skye heard shots and found the body. All this happened in the third act. Anyway, gunshots rang out, and according to his testimony, Maki was in that dressing room at the time. Where are you going with this, Mr. Justice? Stay with me, Your Honor. He also told us this in his testimony, namely that the victim had already been shot. We all heard gunshots, but no one saw the shooting. This is insane. Just before the shooting took place, the shooter was heard on his headset, telling someone to press the switch. The next moment, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flames. We know that a remote-triggered igniter was inside the guitar. From all these facts, we can only draw one conclusion. The crime did not take place during the third act, but during the ballad performance, the second act. What? Order, order, order. But that goes against the evidence. What does, Your Honor? This crime was carried out according to the lyrics of that song, yes? Hey, he's right, look. The bullet is supposed to come after the fire. You're thinking about it the wrong way. Huh? Look, why would the shooter craft the events of the day to follow the lyrics anyway? It's an awful lot of trouble to go through, with little merit for the person doing it. Well, I'm sure whoever it was had some reason. Yes, they did. A reason that made it advantageous to follow the lyrics. You're saying that the order was reversed on purpose? Reverse, Prosecutor Gavin? If the criminal followed the lyrics strictly, then yes, the shooting would have had to come after the guitar burst into flame. Yet Head has raised another possibility. He's claiming that the bullet came not after, but just before the fire. Couldn't have put it better myself. We were only meant to think that the shooting came after the guitar burst into flame. That was the criminal's objective. The crime followed the lyrics to a point, but that was the ruse. Why would the killer risk discovery by moving the body? That was the final touch to make us think he'd followed the lyrics the whole way. Order, order, order! That would explain this most unusual situation. It does! The killer changed the order of events to create himself an alibi! In other words, the killer was someone who had an alibi for the third set, but not the second! Bam. I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but sadly it has. Let me tell you why your little fairy tale makes no sense at all. Oh, it sounds good, I'll give you that. You've given us the reason why the killer bothered following the lyrics of my song, but I question your logic, for it's flawed from the very beginning. What? Basing your entire line of reasoning on a false premise. Right. Lamour's testimony is my entire case. That voice she heard, the shooter's voice. What if she couldn't hear it, Apollo? Look, what do we have? A man saying, press the switch. And near the crime scene, we have a switch, which acts as a remote trigger for an igniter. And last but not least, Prosecutor Gavin's flaming guitar. It can't all be coincidence, but how do I make it work? I see a more direct line of questioning is required. When the crime... Sleepy. When the crime scene was investigated immediately after the crime, that window was closed. Care to tell us how Lamour heard the voice? Key point to be sure. Mr. Justice, can you explain this to the court? Okay, Justice, you've got one thing to prove and one thing only. Lamour heard a voice, and she heard it during the second set. Think, how was Lamour able to hear the voice? She has divine hearing. She could have been somewhere else, yeah? Yeah. Nah, I should just... She has divine hearing, and everyone in the courtroom is just like... You what? When we investigated the scene, the window was closed. The shooter had no reason to close it had it been open either, meaning it was impossible to hear the voice through that window. Oh, so it's good to hear you making sense again. For a moment, I was afraid you might be a Borginian too. As I was saying, Lamour could not hear the voice through the window, so there can be only one explanation. She heard the voice from another location entirely. What's this? You do amuse me so. And here I thought you had good sense back, and we were... Now, I'm afraid you and good sense speak two entirely different languages. Shall I interpret for you, Herr Horhead? Lamour clearly stated she heard the voice through that small window, and there's only one small window at the scene. The music seems off-key. You seem off-key! Are you sure? Think about it. Isn't there another small window at the scene? There is? Ah, I know that look. He wants us to ask him. Very well. You claim Lamour heard the voice from another location? Mr. Justice, show us where this location was. Lamour heard the voice from here! Wouldn't it be the intercom? Right? Am I tweaking? She heard it from... the fruit basket! The duct? The vents? Oh, okay.
Take that!
This is where Lamour heard that voice from. But that's no small window. That's the air vent! Does the music change pitch? Because it sounds different from earlier. I don't think so. Everyone keeps saying it sounds off-key, but I don't know. I didn't really notice it. Why did she tell us? She said she's a Virginian, unfamiliar with our language. It's not a stretch to imagine that she called this air vent a small window. Now you
done it. You've gone beyond ridiculous and into ludicrous. So, Lamour was up in the ventilation system listening to the man's voice? That's the only logical explanation, yes. Logical? I do not think this word means what you think it means, Herr Horhead. Okay, what about it isn't logical? It hardly merits anything. Why would Lamour be in the ventilation system? Hiding like a rat. No offense intended to her, of course. The explanation for that is simple, Prosecutor Gavin. Isn't it, Lamour? You've been listening to our discussion here, yes? Yes. I admit it has had me quite confused since yesterday. Yes, the small window was closed, but why should that mean I could not hear through it? I fear our prosecution might himself need an interpreter. The problem here is words. Lamour, this small window through which you heard the voice, was it up high on the ceiling of the room? Not low on a wall? Yes, it was up on the ceiling. What? This is... oh god, this case is so fucking... There's so many things about this case that are so dumb. Swear to god. I'm like, yeah, I guess, but also, what the fuck? But why didn't you say that earlier, ma'am? I don't know. She's foreign. She doesn't get it. She doesn't know how words work. She's foreign. Don't you understand? Everyone having fun tonight? Everybody have fun tonight. Everybody wake up tonight. Witness, you will clarify this statement to the court. 'Cause what the fuck? And that's where you heard the moment of the crime? Yes, in fact I was. I'm sorry. I never imagined it would become such an important point. Yes, well, why the heck were you up there? And Bones out, you posted this dog. How quaint you posted this dog. I believe it's time for another testimony. I'm not sure I can't. May I remind you that this is a murder trial? We will hear your testimony. Raz for Bell posted this dog. Tell us why you
I
did
appreciate the intercourse, acquaintance.
Thank you for the 69 bits. Tell us why you witnessed the crime from above the ceiling of that room. Please. Well, looks like I'm on the right track. Yes, I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice. I heard there was a small window there before. I was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to report what I had heard. As to why I was there, I cannot say. I'm bound to secrecy on this matter. It's because of the magician. God. Bound to secrecy. Violator work what has many obligations. It's the fucking magician. He's like, don't tell people how I did it. And then she's just like, I was in the air duct. That's the secret. Now everyone knows! So did this happen during the second set? Fuck your secrecy, someone's dead. I know, right? What the fuck? I did not witness the crime. You must understand I only know what I heard. Yes, but you must tell us what you were doing in there. Magic! She was doing magic! That's what the cross-examination is for, right? No! Just tell us, stupid. Very well, Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. What are you gonna do, Apollo? Fist myself in the court of law. She's up above the ceiling for a reason. I just have to get out. I know what it is! I know the reason! I can and will fist myself right fucking here. None of this matters! You heard the gunshots during the second set during your performance. You're quite sure. Yes. Why would I lie about the time? Grrr. Earlier today, I saw someone just taking like, you know how you can get like a block of cheddar cheese
And then you usually get like a little wire cheese slicer to cut the slices, and then you eat slices of cheese out of that. Earlier today I saw someone eating lunch, and they just had a block of that cheese, and they were just taking bites out of it and like reading the news on their phone. And I was like, man, I want that to be me. Just fucking eating an entire block of cheese. Like, they had a little lunchbox, and it was open, and all that came out of it, I think, was like a water bottle and a block of cheese. And I was like, man, I'm feeling that. If there's one thing I'm vibing with at this exact moment is water bottle and a block of cheese for lunch. I could go for a block of cheese. Me too, man. I want, like, Colby Jack. Fuck. By small window, you mean the air vent? No, I mean just pushy beepy. It'd be really cool to cosplay this character because her outfit is pretty. That's like my whole story with that. You just let the third set start? Into the current close to the second set, there was still much to do. You could have prevented so much until a certain. Yes, perhaps I could have. Yeah, but then we would have been out of court on day one, and I mean, where's the fun in that? God, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. How long have I been streaming? Only an hour and 15. I'm just so tired. I want to close my eyes. I want to sleep. I want a blankie. I want a bottle. I want. I'm a very, very tired lawyer who needs a blankie and a bottle and a nappy. I think it's taped to the last statement. Oh, okay. Fast forward yourself? Fuck, I'll try. The tape on the last statement? Alright.
Objection!
God damn you, Quaint. Oh, Quaint, you're the best. Okay, hold on. On fourth statement, I just fucking looked at the guide. It's on the other statement. You were on the right track, it's just not the right statement. Oh. There it goes. Shit. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Shit, I meant to do the whatever. One more. Truth be told, the reason for your presence above that ceiling is quite clear, especially when you consider what happened during your performance. What happened? Yes, it's all right here on this video that we have to watch again. Fucking Cheeto man. Fuck yeah. I love her just watching Clavier burn, and then everyone's like, yeah! I love the Flamin' Hot Cheetos! Sounds like that would be like in a video game if they had to make like a bootleg knockoff of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They'd be like, oh, you know, my favorite band, the Flamin' Hot Cheetos. I hate this song. It's played way too much in this case. Absolutely, I agree. As we can see, L'Amour was clearly not on stage for her entire performance. Though it saddens me to be so realistic. L'Amour is incapable of actually vanishing, let alone teleportation, so the only explanation is that she was hidden from view, and during that time, she moved to the back of the forum. Apollo? What, Trucy? It's not nice to reveal magician's secrets. That's against the rules. But I'm a lawyer. I'm not supposed to be nice. This is all very fascinating. But how is it possible? There's only 20 seconds between when she disappears and reappears. She couldn't have moved that fast. Is something wrong, Prosecutor Gavin? This was his concert, his show. He knows how the illusion was performed. He's just realizing his own oversight. Yeah, it's easy to look things over when, you know, guitar on fire. Hey Mika, can I rent Hilda for like $50 for a month and a half? No. Here we can trace a route through the ceiling. It goes from the stage to the backstage to the rear of the forum. Recall Lamar's testimony from yesterday. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it. She went from the stage to the backstage exit. A perfect description of this route above the ceiling. Lamoire knew of this because of her part in the illusion, but she wasn't the only one who knew. What? Just now in the lobby, Maki told me something. I know if I opening vent, I can leave stage and backstage. He said that? Oh, were you not informed, Prosecutor Gavin? I knew about the vanishing act, of course, yet I had no idea of the route that would be used. Why didn't that magician tell me? Magicians only reveal the details of it. This dialogue is so fucking boring. I'm sorry. I'm gonna wake up my neighbors. Magicians only reveal details of their acts on a need-to-know basis. They're the bread and butter of a magician's life, you know. Which is why you said that for the second time today. Well, Lamoire! I'm impressed, Mr. Attorney. Maki was right about you. So what does this mean? Are you saying that you used this route above the ceiling? I did. Well, that's that, but I'm still a little confused. Why's that, Your Honor? As I said before! Oh my god, have I seen this enough times? There's very little time between when she disappeared and when she reappeared. That's a good question. Can the witness explain this to the court? I cannot. Very well, Mr. Justice. Yes? Can you explain how Lamoire was able to teleport like she did? Magic, stupid. It was magic. Okay. I'm sorry, I just looked at the guy. My friend said I headcanon the Governor sound like Fall Out Boy and I can't get that out of my head. Why do I get picked on? It's Lamoire. As I've stated before, I'm not at liberty to speak of the illusion that night in detail. Well, here are testimony on this statement. Oh, sorry, I'm tired. Press on the fourth statement. Okay. I'm sorry. Stream died. Wait, my stream died? Uh-oh. Pool's closed? Hello? Am I back? Am I back now? Can I go back to streaming? Please don't smoke weed live on stream. I'm blowing into a bottle! Yeah, guys, I'm gonna take a fat bong rip from my bong that I have. Shit, that was supposed to sound like a bong rip, but I did it really badly, so it actually just sounded like me grossly slurping water. I'm sorry. Okay, if it had more liquid in it, I could pull that off, but unfortunately it doesn't have enough. I'm gonna play more lawyer game now.
I followed the route exactly as I was instructed. There's an emergency exit in the backstage where a stagehand waited. From there, one can enter the forum on the opposite side from the stage. The plan was for me to move there in 2 minutes. I was on my way when I heard the voice.
Whatever, let's press the force statement and die. I just want this fucking trial to be over! Take it away, Mr. Justice. Do you remember that live stream that Snoop Dogg did where the game was pre-recorded and he lit a blunt using both of his hands? What game was he, air quotes, playing? Shut up, Trucy. And 4.
Hold it!
2 minutes? Yes, it can be done in 1 minute if you're running.
Running? In that cramped dark tunnel above the ceiling?
Mr. Attorney, have you forgotten? Dark or lit, it makes no difference to me.
That's true, but... You're saying that on the night of the concert you made the trip in 2 minutes.
Yes, though I nearly didn't make it in time. You see, I stopped halfway.
Lamore disappears on the video for 20 seconds, but she says she made the trip in 2 minutes. How?
If you want my professional opinion, I'll bet the answer's right there in that video.
Well, Mr. Justice, perhaps you have some evidence for us, something that can explain the discrepancy between the video and her testimony. Evidence explaining the discrepancy? I got it. There's one piece of evidence that explains the discrepancy between the video and the testimony. Lamore, do you happen to remember this brooch? Aha, the brooch. We saw that yesterday, did we not? It was found at the scene of the crime, Your Honor. And you're bringing this up now, why? I thought we'd already determined when that was dropped. So did I, but we hadn't. Take another look at the video. Oh, it's gonna be gone in that second shot. Look at her titties. You see, everyone, you would have known the answer immediately had you just kept your eyes on the prize. Hey, what's going on the bottom screen right now? Is anyone else seeing that? What's going on in the bottom right corner? Anyone else seeing that? What is that? The brooch, it's gone! What? Yes, the brooch disappeared in the short space of 20 seconds, and it takes a full minute to run from the stage to the backstage. Which means there can be only one explanation. The Lamore we see before the vanishing act and the Lamore we see after are two different people! What? The brooch was found on the floor at the crime scene. I'm not gonna lie, IDK, if people figured this part out without cheating, it's such a small detail. I would love to say that I figured it out on my own when I was younger and I played this, you know, whenever I was like 15 or something and I played this for the first time. Though I can't guarantee that I did. But back when I played Apollo Justice, I don't even think there were walkthroughs for it yet. So I can only assume that I figured it out. I don't know if how long it took me. It must have taken a while. But on the floor directly beneath the bear vent. Wow, Lamore, tell me, did you drop the brooch on your way from the stage to the backstage? At the very moment you witnessed the crime?
Yes, I think I did.
Order! Prosecutor Gavin! His hand twitched. From your expression, I gather you had no idea this was the case, Judge. I, of course, knew about it. What? Don't get me wrong, I wasn't hiding it, it just never occurred to me that the switch and the shooting took place at the same time. So I was right? There was a switch? There was. Just before the stage's tower rose, Lamore was replaced. While we're on the subject, who was this replacement for Lamore? Why, the man behind the illusion. Valand Gramar. It was Gramar? That's quite the illusion, but I still don't get one thing.
Yes?
The switch happened before the tower rose, correct? So you weren't on the stage.
That's right.
But this fake Lamar is still singing. And she's pretty good. That's true.
Come on, Apollo. That's an easy one. They were just playing a recording.
The Gaviners aren't some kind of air guitar band, Fraulein.
Oh, you mean I'm wrong?
When we play a show live, we play live. No recordings. Perhaps you can explain, Lamoire?
Very well.
Yes, do tell, and add it to your testimony. I had to keep singing even while I moved. You were singing?
Yes. Mr. Gavin expressed a dislike for recordings, so I used this.
Wait, so you were singing the whole time? Even when you were crawling above the ceiling toward the backstage?
Why should it matter where I sing when everywhere I go is the same darkness?
Oh, she's pulling the blind card again. Psh, damn it! But you were singing while you were walking.
That's right!
Time to take a piss!
It's time to take a piss. Stop the case, it's time to take a piss. Dinner Guy 101, thank you for the 610 bits! Holy shit! The multiple lawnmowers at the exact point this case jumped the shark. When you're right, you're right.
That's right! Wouldn't the shooter and the victim have heard? She was singing right over their heads after all.
That's right. Are you sure? You'd have to be pretty hard of hearing to miss someone singing in the ceiling. Once again, we come back to the state of the crime scene.
What state? Nah, I know what he means. That old speaker, Apollo.
The speaker? That speaker was blaring at the time of the murder. That's for monitoring the stage from this room.
Monitoring?
It pipes in a real-time feed from the stage microphones, useful for knowing when your set is coming up. Satisfied? That dressing room was fitted with a large speaker playing a direct feed from the stage, at my request, actually. So Lamoire singing in the ceiling sounded just like the Lamoire. Ingenious! Her voice was hidden by her voice! How smart. Noah jumped the shark with accusing a 14-year-old child of being able to jump a ladder after having to fire a 45 caliber revolver twice. Yeah, that was really stupid. This case jumped the shark when it started.
Lamoire? I have just remembered something.
Do tell.
When I heard the noise, the gunshots, yes, it startled me, so I stopped singing.
What?
I forgot the words I was supposed to sing.
The song stopped?
Thankfully, it was the very beginning of the second verse, so not many would notice.
Forehead. Horrid. That mixing board I lent you, where is it? The mixing, huh?
That machine, Apollo, the one that breaks music into tracks.
Oh, this. I'd completely forgotten about it. Let's take a listen. Oh, great. We have to use the features. Oh, I can't hit anything yet. I have to watch this again. God damn. Oh, good. They didn't make us watch the whole thing. The song does stop there. It does? I must have missed it. On account of it was so boring. Look at the lyric sheet at the top of the second verse. See where it says pleasure, pleasure? Now listen again! This is evidence indeed. Judge who has never seen evidence before. Oh, is this evidence? I like evidence. I believe we are guilty of making a terrible mistake. The crime didn't happen during the third set. It happened during the second, during Lamoire's ballad. If that's true, then no one on stage during the second set could have been the shooter. Which means that Darian Crescent could have done it! He wasn't on stage for the second set! I mean it. Well, Prosecutor Gavin? Fascinating. I don't believe I've ever seen a trial turned around quite so thoroughly, yet one problem remains. What's that, Prosecutor Gavin? Jorge's theory does have a certain kind of logic to it. Yet it is entirely based upon Lamoire's testimony. Yes, is there a problem with this? Well, it's quite simple, though it pains me to say it. What if she's lying to protect the defendant? But you have no proof! All I'm saying is that the truth is as yet unclear until we hear directly from the man himself. The man? You don't mean? Yes. Though he's a friend and a band member, Darian Crescent must take the stand. I see no other way. Oh, as someone with new perspective on the case? As a suspect, to be frank. Finally, the rat's coming out of his hole! And I'm ready to catch him. Darian Crescent, get ready for justice! This is as good a time as any to pause for a brief recess, because I'm not prepared for giant penis hair yet. The prosecution will summon the witness. Have him here and ready by the time we begin. I'm the last man who needs to be reminded what his duties are. Nah, he said duties. Very well. Court is adjourned for a 15-minute recess. I could be a real dick and be like, hey guys, we just got a to be continued. I don't want to finish this case, but like I will. It's not gonna take that much longer, I hope. Here, let me check the guide, actually, so I can get you a more clear answer on that. Let's see how much more we have to do. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, it shouldn't take that long. It's fine.
Apollo, I can't believe it! It really happened during the second act? And right in the middle of Lamoire's performance?
Why was she in that air vent? And that switch in the flaming guitar? When you link it all together, that's what you end up with. I'm sorry, I delivered that really poorly. Just forgive me, please. I knew you had what it took.
Daddy!
Mr. Wright, you believed in me? Not really. Huh? I just thought that'd make a cooler entrance than say, hiya. Why do I even bother?
Where have you been at late, Daddy? You haven't been coming to the office at all.
Sorry about that, Trucy. I'm on a secret mission.
Secret? You mean like you're undercover?
I appreciate the intercourse, acquaintance.
I appreciate the intercourse, acquaintance. Thank you for the 69 bits. Like Mr. Latouche, only shorter and not as well dressed.
Oh no, what if you're shot too, Daddy?
Hold on 1 second, guys. Why would I do a thing like that to you? Anyway, I'm off for a while again. Huh? You're leaving? Oh, one thing before I go. What? Look. Right. Is that all you came to say? I think you have things pretty much under control. You'll get Maki to buy off the hook, no doubt. Yeah, but you're after that detective, aren't you? Darian Crescent. It won't be easy proving you did it, especially not under the current court system. Current court system? What did Prosecutor Gavin say during the trial? Your case is based on one fragile assumption, namely that our diva divine is telling the truth.
But what about all the proof? The brooch and the switch?
A piece of jewelry and a lyrical blunder. There are plenty of other ways to explain these things. The flaming guitar, too. All because you lack definitive proof of their connection to the case.
But
if the sultry songstress is lying, your case melts like butter in a frying pan, leaving behind the faintly singed scent of failure. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck! And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Ugh. Oh, that reminds me. I have something to give you from our detective friend. Detective Sky. Emma? Let's see. This bag of snacks here was meant for me. Ah, here it is.
What are those, Daddy? They don't look like very good snacking material.
They were found at the scene. Analysis of the fragments revealed traces of gunpowder.
Gunpowder?
Probably a firecracker or something similar, like the ones kids are into these days. These fragments were found under the sofa at the scene of the crime, actually. Under the sofa?
Hey, Apollo! That's where we found that little device thingy.
Right, this. Well, finally some evidence that makes sense. That's all for me, I suppose. See you after the verdict. Maybe. Right. Every man has an igniter inside him. Excuse me? Find Darian Crescent's igniter and set it off.
Daddy, are you drunk again?
And he walked out the door, just like a magician. Normally.
What does he want us to do? No conventional methods? What does that mean?
I guess we just have to take his advice and hope it makes sense when the time comes. I guess. We're almost at the finish line. Hang in there, Trucy. Phoenix has been hitting the grape juice again. Court is now back in session. Prosecutor Gavin, where is Detective Crescent? In the witness round, ready to be called at any time. The witness round? What did I just say? I don't care. Very well. Might I add, I don't believe any of this. Darian was the first detective I ever worked with. We stopped working together when he moved to Criminal Affairs Division 3, but his guitar playing, it fires my imagination. Hey, guess what? People who play guitar can still be bad people. Sorry if this was eye-opening for any of you. That's nice, but it has nothing to do with the matter at hand. Correct? Oh, I know. Will you two just kiss already? Very well. Call the final witness to the stand. Detective Darian Crescent. I'm deadass looking up immediately what I have to do. Because I don't want this to last much longer. Oh god, there's a bunch of shit I have to do. Ugh, I don't want to do stuff. Name and occupation, please. Darian Crescent, Detective, Criminal Affairs Division 3. That's the International Affairs Division, for those you didn't know. And I'm a guitarist for the Gaviners. Maybe you've heard of us. Don't look at your penis hair like that. Don't look at your penis hair like that. Do you fully understand the circumstances under which you stand before us today? Yeah, I understand, Your Honor. What I don't understand is how you let this happen, partner. You gave me your word I wouldn't be standing here. Situations change, Darian. And don't call me partner. So much for old friends. I see what you're doing, Darian. You're pressing the prosecution. Your Honor, if we could begin the trial... Yes, it's high time we did. Let's hear your testimony. You may begin with your response to Lamore's testimony. In fact, you have anything to say about it. Oh, I got plenty to say. Lying must be a national pastime in Virginia. And wherever you're from, Mr. Justice... Oh, I'm sorry. And wherever you're from, Mr. Justice... This game would benefit from some italicized text. Conventional methods are out the window, huh? Here goes nothing. Viva's lying, plain and simple. She's got nothing to back up her story. In the first place, she never heard my voice. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots? As if. Didn't Detective Emma Sky hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? The shooting took place when I was on stage, man! So, you claim what did I just say, Mr.? So you claim Lamore's testimony was chicken strips! Dinner Guy 101, thank you for the 1,000 bits! Chicken strips! Josuke, you're in an Ace Attorney game. Crazy. Not everyone with the pompadour is Josuke JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Yes, I know his full name is Josuke Higashikata. Hey, don't get me wrong. I dig what she's doing trying to protect that kid. And she's got the court-eating vague statements out of her hand just because she's blind! You go too far, Darian. Look, all I'm saying is you gotta be a reliable witness. Why not listen to the detective? Detective Sky. I see. Mr. Justice, you may be in the cross-examination. He didn't waste any time finding our weak spot. I can't do this with Lamoire's testimony alone. I'll have to find some other way to prove when the shooting took place. Chicken strips! 2, 3, 4. Achoo! Achoo! Bitch! Well, I tried bitch. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Objection!
Some things were found at the crime scene after yesterday's trial. What things? The first was this small device. That's the remote-triggered igniter. Correct. And one more thing. What are those? The remains of something burnt? Not another guitar, I hope. Traces of gunpowder were found on these fragments. We have a report that it was something like a firecracker. Huh? How did Gavin know about this? What? You think Detective Sky works for you? I received the report this morning before coming here. That's when I made my decision, actually. What decision is this, Prosecutor Gavin? I registered Darian as a witness in today's trial, just in case. This raises another possibility. Those gunshot-like sounds during the third set could have been 2 firecrackers rigged to go off by remote control. Look at that ass, though. You got an active imagination, don't ya? But you shouldn't say every little thing you think. Your explanation there seems a bit too convenient for me. How so? So, you're saying that these firecrackers just happened to go off right when 2 witnesses came walking by? That's right. Darian was out on stage when it happened, Apollo. How would you know if someone was backstage right then? If the firecracker goes off in the forest and there's no one there to hear, you get my drift. Why go through the trouble, man? Ah. How do I explain this? He may not look it, but Darian is a gifted detective. Show any weakness and he's sure to find it. He may not look it, partner. Gee, thanks, man. That reminds me, I happened to pass through the very hallway several times that day myself, and I saw something odd there just before the third set. Something odd? A headset, the kind all the band and staff members were wearing. That's right! We picked this up right in front of the door to that dressing room. What if the headset wasn't dropped but placed? And what if it was turned on? You could hear what was going on in that hallway, even if you were out on stage. Whose side are you on, Gavin? Listen to me, Darian. There are no sides in a court of law. Which is why I now turn to you, Harhochid. I have a question for you. Huh? For me? The igniter and the burnt fragments there were found at the scene of the crime. It's certainly a possibility that they were part of a ruse to fake the second sound of gunshots. Throw the headset from the hallway into the mix, and you could fabricate an alibi. But we're still no closer to proving anything. Those gunshots might have been real or fake. We can't say. You've raised the possibility that the shots heard during the third set were faked. Now you need to prove the other half of the case. The other half? Look, I'll just tell him. He wants you to prove the thing went down in the second act, while our little piano player was on stage. That right, Gavin? Indeed. If you can't prove that, then to continue this cross-examination would be pointless. Well, Mr. Justice, can you prove the crime took place during the second set? Yeah, I think. You better know, Apollo, otherwise we're through. It can be proven. You make it sound like someone else is gonna come along and do it for you. Let's continue with the cross-examination then, shall we? Witness your testimony if you would. This isn't gonna be easy. I need some decisive proof and fast. Good thing I have the guide open. Okay. Present. Okay, it is on the new statement. Let's go, bitch. Wait. Objection.
Objection!
I actually recognize that. It seems there was clear proof left behind right here in Lamoire's song. Her song? What exactly is this device thingy? New variety of gramophone, perhaps? If I could what? Please. Come on, we just use this and don't get me started on gramophone. This device was used to record the performance part by part. Part? You move the sliders to adjust the volume. Each instrument is adjustable separately, Lamoire's voice included. Oh, but what does this prove? According to Lamoire's testimony, at the moment of the shooting, she forgot the words of the song. You intend to examine the recording at that moment, Ja? We might even hear those gunshots. Exactly. Ridiculous. Look at his penis. I mean his hair. I mean his penis. Oh, whoop. How are you supposed to hear gunshots back in that dressing room out on stage? Have you forgotten, Darian? We're all wearing these headsets. We were all deeply involved in our performance, but Lamoire's headset would have picked up what she heard all the same. Then let us get to analyzing that recording. Right now. Lamoire stopped singing when she heard the shots fired. Find that spot and I'll find the gunshots. Hooray. Are you having fun? I am, actually. Wait, was that the gunshot? That's a little weird. That's the piano. That's the drums. Oh, I am just supposed to locate the gunshot. I'm sorry, I spaced out. I was just having a good time. How do I... That's it. It's right there. Oh, do I just need to, like... You ever just want to listen to a gunshot repeatedly? There it is. Oh, okay. Press the 1. There we go.
Take that!
Your Honor, listen closely to this part. This is the track with Lamoire's vocals. Oh my god, how many times do I have to listen to this? I'm sorry that I spaced out and was just like, I'm just having fun, like, mixing the parts. I did hear something faintly there yet. That was faintly? That was not faintly. Why, it sounded like a gunshot. What? This has to be some kind of mistake. Penis. I believe a case has been made. Gunshots were heard during the second set, which means Lamoire's testimony was true. Ah! fooled her. So she was telling the truth about what she heard?
It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche.
Well, what did he say?
It's over. Press the switch now.
Just after that, there was a gunshot, and then the guitar caught on fire. Detective Crescend, you weren't on stage during the second set. You could have done it. But why do we only hear one gunshot on the recording? Weren't 2 bullets fired from this weapon? Lamoire was moving through the air vent, Your Honor. She must not have been close enough for her mic to catch the first shot, but then as she passed over the dressing room, the gun fired again and Mr. Latouche's life was taken. Well, Detective Crescend? Once again, I'm reminded of something. Our performance that day. Your performance? Seeing the mixing board jogged my memory. You were there too, Harkohead. What is it with today? Problem after problem. Ugh. My hog won't start. My guitar case is busted. My guitar's been burned to the crisp, and to top it all, someone's dead. And then there was this performance just now. What was that all about? This part is off. Which is that? Second car. It was you, Darian! I thought it was strange at the time. How could you miss such a simple cue? I know you. I know how you play. You're better than that. Yeah, well, like... What? And Prosecutor Gavin, what are you getting at? I'm talking about the murder weapon, Mr. Latouche's 45 caliber hand cannon. As we have learned, even the shooter doesn't go unscarred with a revolver that size. The kickback is enough to dislocate your shoulder. I'm sorry, I just got scared because I can literally hear Hilda scratching the wall in the other room. I think she wants to say hi. Give me one moment. Solve the murder? Yeah? Hilda, do you think you can activate the objection? I believe in you. Okay? Hilda, say Mel. Good job! Oh, Hilda. Wait! You mean his playing was affected because he hurt himself for shooting that revolver? You're forgetting something. Yes, Detective Crescent? I'm a trained police officer, you know. I've had firearms training, plenty of it. I'm no amateur. The standard sidearm issued to police officers is a 38 caliber weapon, a much tamer beast. Also, the murder... Guns! Which suggests there was a struggle between the killer and the victim. So the killer might not have been holding the revolver correctly when he fired. Is that what you mean? The thought had occurred to me, yes. Well, does the witness have anything to say to this? Detective Crescend! What I want to ask is what Mr. Sleeves rolled up ready for action has to say. Hey you, attorney! Me? Exactly which piece of your evidence is decisive again? You got a little noise on a tape that could be anything, and you have an alleged guitar cue missed due to a 45 caliber kickback. I weep for this case, Gavin. I really do. You can line up your little weak pieces of evidence all you want. I didn't shoot that manager, and that's the obvious truth. So why would Maki be able to fire that revolver fine when a trained detective couldn't? I know, right? This case is bonkers. The defense's arguments, while persuasive, are not decisive. This is a guilty till proven innocent court, alright? Hilda, what are you doing over there? Hilda, what? Yeah, that's what I thought. I believe we should hear what the witness has to say in response to the case so far. Your testimony, please, Detective Crescent. Tell us your reasons why you couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it because... Okay. Come on, why would I even want to kill that manager? You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man. This was what that diva's first trip to this country, right? How could I possibly know that manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? A simple reason indeed. Prosecutor Gavin, is it the case that Mr. Latouche had not been to our country before? According to our records, yes, not even once. I see. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may cross-examine the cross-examination. Wait, Hilda, come here. You think you can do it? Okay, Hilda. You ready? Okay, Hilda. Hilda, come on. Hilda, say objection. Say objection. Come on, Hilda. Hilda, come on. One more time. One more time. I don't think she's gonna be loud enough.
Objection!
Good enough, Hilda. Good enough. Your Honor, take a look at this. What's that? Looks like candy. It's not. Don't lick it, please. Detective Crescend, ever seen this? Looks like a piece of candy. What it is evidence. Don't lick it before you try it. Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found among the victim's belongings. A cocoon? Never seen one that color. Oh, man. It is a variety only found in the Republic of Virginia. Nowhere else. Right, but what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? What is this cat doing in my courtroom, huh? What are you doing in here, Hilda? Surely this has nothing to do with the motive for killing Mr. Latouche, does it? It does! Wait, I mean, I think it does. You don't sound so confident, man. A cocoon? Is it one of those silky cocoons? The kind you can make well silk out of? Silk, silk, silk? Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative. A curative for what? Apparently it is most efficacious at treating a disease thought incurable. It's the only medicine of its kind. However, it is illegal to take one out of these healing cocoons out of Virginia. Whatever for? If it's such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world? Yeah, that's what I've been wondering. We looked into the matter at some length. Apparently, it isn't difficult at all to manufacture the remedy from the cocoon, yet if you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely. A deadly poison, in fact. What? There was an incident several years ago where some of these got onto the black market and caused quite the commotion in the global community, though the media was kept largely unaware. Intriguing. All this has led to a strict ban on the cocoon's export, one rigidly enforced by the Interpol, among others. Interpol? Right. The victim, Romain Latouche, was an Interpol agent. Detective Crucian. You insist on referring to him as a manager, but that is misleading. Romain Latouche wasn't killed as a manager. He was killed as an undercover agent. So I was trying to smuggle this gumball into the country? That's what you're trying to say? I'm saying that could well be a motive for murder. Oh, so I was trying to sell it on the black market, make myself a pretty penny? Ridiculous. I mean, totally unthinkable. Unthinkable, you say? Why? Perhaps it's time for another testimony about this smuggling of cocoons business. Bup. International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market. Too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in International Affairs. I know the deal. God, we're so close. Okay. Interpol, why are these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Latouche undercover? You kids think up the craziest things. But no way am I gonna risk life and limb just to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money. Not the most noble of statements, but duly noted. According to the reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Selling them to an underground organization would be risky.
Very well, you may begin the cross-examination. This is the only motive I've got. He was up to something, and I'm gonna find out what.
1, 2, 3. Oh, Hulda, you want to try again? Come here, Hilda. You want to try again? Come here. You want to try again? No, she's not letting me pick her up. Okay, you don't have to.
Objection!
Shit, I didn't even hit the right button, so. Why not choose a less dangerous buyer then? I would. How clueless are ya? Everyone in the market's dangerous. The second they found out I was a cop, I could kiss my keister goodbye. Why sell to a black market buyer? How about someone like this? That article, that's about the Chief Justice's... A deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon, but so can a cure. And not a cure for just any disease, a cure for incuritis. Incuritis? I've heard of that somewhere. You went to visit a victim of the disease this morning! Aha! But that's the disease the Chief Justice's son has. You aren't saying. Our witness is a detective. He could have had contact with the Chief Justice. You are saying. The Chief Justice would never deal in contraband. Not even to save his own son's life? But even at the deal with you, why, it'd be an international scandal. That's Detective Crescen's insurance. If word ever got out, the one with his neck on the line would be the Chief Justice. Detective Crescent, is this true? First I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler? How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyway? Distasteful is it to think about if the Chief Justice were the buyer. Why, a seller couldn't hope for a better deal. A very cowardly seller. Don't let sleeves over there trick ya. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice. Where's your proof? Well... Oh yeah, and you're forgetting one other important thing. Do tell. Interpol isn't the only ones out here watching this. Borginian Customs barely sleep, so they're worried about Cocoon. They're so worried about Cocoons getting out. So we were informed. Let's continue with the cross-examination. Oh god. Shit, no! I skipped too many statements! Fuck!
Objection!
Actually, there is one way. Huh? One way to get something out of the country, no checks. What is it? You become a prosecutor. A prosecutor? I don't believe it. Believe it, Prosecutor Gavin. What was it that you told me yesterday at your office? It was a beautiful instrument. It was played lovingly for many years. A guitar befitting a woman like Lamoire. How did it end up here? I mentioned how much I'm sorry, I'm bored already. The guitar is from Virginia. That it is. We couldn't carry it on the plane. Changes in air pressure and humidity ruined the wood, so we vacuum packed in Lamoire's studio. I used a special shipping service available for transporting evidence. They brought it right up to my office for me. Pristine and untouched. Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Untouched? Quite. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets and packed and vacuum packed in Virginia. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert. Are you saying the guitar was... With cocoons this small, it would have been very easy to use your guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon out of Virginia. What? Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin, the guitar had some work done on it recently, right? How many actual attorneys do you think yell objection whenever they get damning evidence, Mika? I mean, they say it, but not like, objection! They're probably just like, objection! Like, they don't, you know. Good memory, kid. Well, you know how guitars have a round hole in the front? It's called the sound hole. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort. A broken device? Yes, this, in fact.
An igniter? Exactly. Consider this, if you will. What if that igniter wasn't the only thing that was attached to Sign Your Guitar? You mean... He means this, of course. There was a way to get a cocoon out of the country. They could use Picky Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. And who better do that then than someone with access? Like a member of the band. Yark! Penis. Order! So the igniter was placed in there for a clear reason, it seems. It was a safety precaution. A precaution? At last it all comes together. Every strange thing that happened that day. Care to review? Maestro, the gentle sounds of Lamoire's blah blah blah. Shit! No, wait, don't start it yet! I wasn't ready! Stop it! No! I don't know how to say the word blad! First, my keys were stolen, a harmless misdemeanor, which forced me to break the lock on my guitar case. The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar. I see. But things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only a member of the band could get near that case. Unwrapping the guitar would raise too many suspicions. Then the concert began. Right about this time, a very large problem presented itself to the smuggler. Who was that? Mr. Latouche. Oh. Mr. Latouche, an undercover agent, was onto something. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So Mr. Latouche tried to examine the guitar himself. If the cocoon were confiscated then, the gig would be up. The only thing left for the smuggler to do was get rid of the whole lot. Following the white theme of his clothing, his white-tipped hair may be a reference to the oceanic white-tipped shark, a particularly aggressive species of shark. The jutting shape of the hair also resembles the long snout of the goblin shark. It's a penis! It's a penis. And then... Mr. Latouche died. With Lamoire there to witness it. There's your case. Brilliant, man. Detective Crescent? I gotta know, you make all that up on the fly? I'm so tired. Oh my god, this case is almost over. It makes a great deal of sense, Darian. The Republic of Virginia? Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there. True, you haven't. Let's see you make up a story for that, kid. How'd I hide the cocoon in the first place, huh? It's not so hard to imagine. You had help, a Virginian accomplice. That's all. That you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice Lamoire heard proves it. It's over, press the switch now. You made this transmission from the backstage, while your co-conspirator was on stage. But who was it? This is it, the coup de grace. And for once, I know what I'm doing. There's only one person who could have helped him. Well, let's hear what Mr. Justice has to say then, but be warned, with a great accusation comes great responsibility. Make up your answer on the fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalized. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? The stream died again? Come here, Hilda. Come here. Come here, Hilda. Come here, Hilda. Come here. Am I back yet? Am I back? Can we finish the case? Alright, accomplice time. Actually becomes an accomplice like a boss. Come here, Hilda. Come here. Hilda, come here. Hilda, come here. Damn it, Hilda. Why are you looking at me like that? Come here. Okay, fuck it.
Take that!
Take that! There's only one person who meets all the requirements of accomplice, and that person is the defendant, Maki Tobai! But Mr. Justice, he's your client! A defense attorney accusing his clients? That's a new one. I assure you no one is more unhappy about this than I, but I'm here to defend him in the murder of Mr. Latouche, and I stand by my statement earlier that he's innocent of that particular crime.
Indeed, the defendant is Borginian. He does meet the basic requirements to be the accomplice. But what if it was in fact Lamoire? It couldn't have been. Well, you seem sure of yourself. The reason is electronic signals, Your Honor. Electronic signals? Recall that this remote only works to a range of 30 feet. Beyond that, it's useless. Yes, that's true. Now, think back to the testimony. When the shooter made his transmission, Lamoire was in the air vent, right above the dressing room where the shooter stood. Let's look at the stage diagram. This is the area that the remote can reach from the air vent. Well, looking at this, it seems that Lamoire still could have done that deed. No. When the shooter made the transition, the stage was slightly different than shown here. It was in the middle of the guitar serenade. So it's all like... Prosecutor Gavin... Okay. Yeah, all that thing he just said. In other words, the remote couldn't have worked from Lamoire's position in the air vent. Oh, it all makes sense now. Well, Detective Crescend, what do you say to that? Your Honor? Yes, Detective? Could we see the video where Gavin's guitar burns? Just one more time? I just want to see him catch fire. Because I hate him. Oh, well, I don't see why not. What? Don't tell me he has a way out of this. Too bad, so sad, punk. Punk? First you were sleeves, then kid, now punk. You're losing rank fast, Apollo. What exactly were we supposed to see in this video? The problem isn't what we see, correct? The problem isn't in what we see, correct, Darian? Right, it's what you hear. We are musicians, after all. Care to explain for us non-musicians? Sure thing, punk. Let me get your yarn straight first. You're saying I to set off that igniter? That right? Yes? Well, in order to do that, we'd have to press a switch. Am I right? No, okay. Well, take another listen. Pay attention to the piano. Piano? What seems to be the problem there? The piano sounded just fine. And that's the problem, man. You still don't get it? Yeah, how's he supposed to hit that switch if he's playing? He put it in the piano. You got Miss Diva, the guitar, the bass, the piano, and the drums. The only one with He played the piano with his toes. Oh my god, can we please stop watching this? Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya. He couldn't have pressed that switch. Yeah, he could have. Well, Mr. Justice, the piano does seem to be playing when the guitar catches fire. Well, it's okay, we all make mistakes sometimes. Apollo, were you wrong? I can't be wrong! Everything makes perfect sense! How could it all just... Strange. What's strange? No, it's just... something's odd about the performance there. Odd? Mr. Justice, if Makito didn't, you know, did he? Huh? But everything points to it! You got the facts wrong, man. Here's some facts for you. Gavin's guitar is on fire, but the pianist didn't press that switch. In other words, your story's full of holes. Mr. Justice, let's hear your final opinion on this matter. Was the defendant Maki Tobai the accomplice? Your answer will reflect on everything you've said here. Give it some thought.
Apollo, if Maki's not the accomplice, then our whole case is ruined. I know that. It has to be him. He was the only one who could have helped the smuggler. He had to have pressed that switch. Well, you better find a way to prove it. Ah, what do I do? What do I do? There has to be something that doesn't fit. Something odd. Something odd? Wait a second. What? You thought of something? What was Gavin saying just now?
Strange. What's strange? No, it's just something's odd about the performance.
It's not much to go on, but it's all I've got.
What exactly did he hear that was odd? If you come up with something, Mr. Justice, may I remind you that everything— oh my god, yes, just let me do it! Christ! Let's hear your final answer. Can you prove that Maki Tabai pressed the switch? I can prove it, bitch!
I don't know if you call this proof per se, but I can prove it was possible.
Then as prosecutor, it falls me to ask, can you show us— oh my god. Penis, dick, penis, penis. His music, Your Honor. Music? Was this music? I like music. Hi, Hilda. You're looking at me? Do you want to play lawyer game? Meow? 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 You guys can't hear her, so I probably sound fucking insane, but I was like, meow, and she's like, meow. And I was like, meow, and she's like, meow. And I was like, meow, and she's like, meow. Anyway. Let's listen to the piano part around the time when the— oh my god, yes, let's do it! Come on! I heard it. I hear a piano being played. But doesn't it sound kind of simple? Simple? I think I know what he's suggesting. You think Maki could have played that part with one hand? One hand? He only needed one hand to press that switch. He could play the piano with the other. So what you're saying is— I mean, actually no. Then what do you know? You can't play a part like that with one hand. Ugh. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about here. Wait. Oh, I'm sorry, Trucy's not speaking. Wait, I know. Hey, Trucy.
Yeah, you got something?
Mr. Wright, your father, he's a pianist. Could he—
oh, Daddy? He couldn't play a part like that even if he had 3 hands.
So sorry. So sad for you. No, not really.
Huh?
That was just the easy way to prove it. There's always the hard way. Man, how are you gonna prove whether he played with one hand or 2? You can't! I admit it'll be rather difficult to prove, but it's highly likely he was playing with one hand. How do you know that? The clue is what Prosecutor Gavin described as sounding odd. What sounded odd? I'll bet we can tell by listening to a certain part of the song. No way. Well, it seems we've come to the moment of truth at last. God, I hope so. I'm so bored. Show us the part that proves the defendant was playing with one hand, right before the guitar burst into flame. Maki was definitely playing one-handed. Oh my god! Ah! Let's see. Okay, the first part, yeah, okay. Yeah, I just...
Take that!
Prosecutor Gavin, I'm sure you've realized by now just what it was that sounded odd to you.
As I'm sure you've realized it to yourself, Herr Jorge. Realized what? I'll demonstrate. Let's listen to the part in question again, shall we? Pay particular attention to the but a fleeting melody phrase. Play it again. Man. How many times do we have to listen to the same thing? Mood. You're right. Enough of that. Let's listen to another section, shall we? Another section? The guitar bursts into flame at the end of the second verse. Let's listen to the same spot in the first verse. Pay attention to the "Oh, that night in your embrace." Play verse 2 again. Jesus Christ, they were really proud of themselves for this one, weren't they? They feel the same, true, but they're clearly very different. What? Well, put your honor. The phrase in verse 2 is quite simple, but the same phrase in verse 1 has high and low notes. You'd have to use 2 hands to play that for sure. What's that prove? I would think you'd know that by now. This is why I hate dealing with amateurs, man. So the 2 verses had different arrangements. Happens all the time. Not this time, Darian. There's no point in changing an arrangement if you can't hear it clearly. And that wasn't the point. I had him play specifically so that the piano would stay in the background. That's what I noticed. Why should the same phrase sound slightly different, I asked myself. Now ask yourselves why Maki changed how he played, and there's only one answer. He needed a free hand in order to press the switch. Penis. Order. I believe this all ties the facts together. Well, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, quite. Though personally this comes as a terrible disappointment. What? No comeback? I can't believe it. I finally did it. I shut him up! Very well. Barring an objection from the prosecution, I will now state the court's opinion on this matter. Good show, Sleeves. No, great show. It's not over? I don't like it when he looks so happy. You tell him, Gavin. Tell him what's so disappointing. Personally, I'm terribly disappointed in you, Herr Jorge. Me? Yes, don't get me wrong. Your case is solid. The facts I'll check out. But even now, you have yet to show us a single piece of decisive evidence. Yeah, but the facts... Anyone can see it was him. Unfortunately, anyone does not include the law. I'm afraid your case doesn't cut it. But... 1,000 facts might point toward the same conclusion, but without decisive evidence, it's not proof. That's the rule under our current legal system. I don't believe it! It does not seem as though the defense has any more evidence to present. No, I think if we did, we would have seen it already a long ways back. That is unfortunate, but at present, this court is unable to acknowledge your accusation. Wah-ha! The truth is The truth is staring us all right in the face! Why can't they see it? What's the point of a legal system that protects criminals? Apollo, remember what Daddy said? It won't be easy proving he did it, especially not under the current court system. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it will be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Every man has an igniter inside him. Find Daring Crescen's igniter and set it off. I wonder what he meant by every man's igniter. It means penis. I think he just meant it as a weak spot, no? That kind of thing that a single spark could turn into wildfire of emotion. I won't be able to press him further by conventional means. I've got to find a weak spot in that guy. Something fatal. So, can I get back to work now or what? It may look like I got a lot of time on my hands, but I got no more time to play pretend with this deadweight attorney. Well, Mr. Justice, we've come this far without decisive evidence. This witness won't be coming back to the stand once we let him go. Every man has an igniter. Huh? Didn't you say the better the guitar, the brighter it burns, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, good guitars are kept dry, is why. That provides the best sound. Even a small spark can cause a repairable damage. Your plan has an igniter in it too. It was there from the very beginning. What? Fighting time, Justice. If you blow this one, it'll be out of your hands for good.
Go for it, Apollo.
What, and this igniter's supposed to come burn me up? That's almost poetic there, Mr. Attorney. All the better, I'm rather fond of poetry, and I tend to hear this one through to the very end. Mika, can you talk?
When have I ever been able to talk?
You are accusing this man, Darian Crescent, of 2 crimes, the murder of Mr. Latouche and the smuggling of a Borginian cocoon. This is your last chance to prove your case. Trial's already run for too long, Mr. Justice. It will be— oh my god, just let me do the thing. Let me do it. Let me do it. Let's have it. Show us the basis for these accusations against Darian Crescent. Okay, this is really my last chance. The key to this will— oh my god! Your igniter isn't a piece of evidence. Huh? So what is? It's true that I couldn't show the type of them. But perhaps what I needed to prove my case was something else. You mean a witness? Proving his guilt is a tall order, but I've got just the person to do it. Very well, Mr. Justice. Who is this person who can prove Darian Crescent's guilt?
Take that!
Take that. The one person who can prove— Maki! Get out here! Your client again? Maki Tobai was an accomplice to the cocoon smuggling plot. Without him, Darian Crescent could not have gotten the cocoon. Furthermore, he can easily prove that the one who plotted to smuggle that cocoon is the real criminal in this case. How so? It would require just one of the very cocoons Mr. Latouche was looking for. With the cooperation of the Republic of Virginia, we could burn a cocoon. The burnt cocoon would leave a particular residue. A residue we would, no doubt, also find inside the burnt-out guitar. Oh, very scientific of you. I totally thought of all of those things before I pressed the present button. Thus, if Maki Tobai acknowledges an agreement with Darian Crescent concerning the attempted smuggling of a Virginian cocoon, the case is solved. Darian's laughing again. Your unrelenting passion is remarkable. You really want to get me, don't you? Too bad you'll never be able to. Why not? The little key tickler won't acknowledge anything, especially not anything to do with cocoon smuggling. What's this all about? Taking a cocoon out of the country means death, by Borginian law. Yes, see? If our pianist really was a smuggler, then testifying about it would be suicide. Believe me, he's not talking— But you're wrong, Detective Crescent. Huh? It's the other way around. If Maki doesn't admit to smuggling here, he's in deep trouble. Huh? How? Look, if Maki admits to smuggling here, then he'll be tried in our courts by our laws. You don't get the death penalty for smuggling in our country. When the fuck did this ever become relevant? I guess this is a thing now. How would I know this? The victim in this case was an undercover Interpol agent. I'm sure that news has already reached Virginia, and they'll likely broadcast our dealings in court today. Including the part about the Borginian cocoon. Yeah, but... Boy, penis. But if Maki doesn't admit to smuggling now, he'll eventually be picked up by the Borginian police. And it's not like he's in any danger at our court. We're not going to find him guilty of murder here. Not now. Yeah, but you can't do this. You can't accuse me. Maybe the law doesn't allow it, but who's going to think you're really innocent after hearing this trial? The same goes for Maki Tobai. The cocoon smuggling, your entire plan, Maki Tobai knows everything. I'm gonna lose my voice sometime soon. There's only one way out of it for him, and that's to acknowledge his own crime. The crime of cocoon smuggling. Penis. Don't worry there. I'll get you out of the country. I'll set you out someplace, a hidden mansion, real nice.
You want a house made out of cookies? Or no, a house made out of pianos? Come on. Penis. Please! Don't take... Oh, his penis fell apart. Darian, I consider that my last session with you. We rocked. I'm guessing we can treat that outburst as a confession? Uh-oh, he's laughing again. That's a kind of sick desperation in it. There's a kind of sick desperation in it now, though. Well, have you been listening to today's trial?
Yes.
And you'll talk? You'll tell this court everything? I didn't want it to turn out this way, but I'm not the kind of lawyer that can overlook a crime. Today's trial was all for your benefit, you know? I see no reason why you should hesitate now.
I knew. From beginning I knew. Maki.
Situation. I cannot explain, but money I needed. Very much money. Today's trial raises a delicate issue with our legal system. The only thing definite in a court of law is evidence. This is the golden rule. However, it has become apparent that not all things can be tried by this standard. Should another case of this sort surface, we may have to consider an alternate system by which to administer justice. Anyway, Mr. Maki-Tobai?
Yes?
I promise you will receive a fair trial by the laws of our country. And with regards to the current charges for the murder of Mr. Latouche, this court is prepared to announce a verdict. He's so cute! Look at him! Oh my god!
I thank you. I only lie, but you see truth. You find truth.
That's our job. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Maki-Tobai. Why are his eyes so small? He's foreign! You can't just say that about foreigners. A court is adjourned, by the way.
I wonder what'll happen to Maki.
Well, he did smuggle a cocoon out of Virginia. I guess there'll be another trial here. All's well that ends well.
Daddy! I owe you both my thanks. Lamoir? Is something wrong?
I'm sorry, Maki was your partner on the stage, your friend.
Yes, I thought of him as my own son. Even now I do, yet something got a hold of him. Something evil, I see that. And he must pay for what he has done. Is that not how it should be?
I'm still sorry.
Do not be sorry. You have given me courage.
Courage?
I am considering an eye operation.
It was my suggestion, actually.
You mean you'll be able to see again? It's funny, I've always been afraid of the light. Light seems so harsh, so unforgiving.
According to the doctor, Lamoir lost her sight due to some kind of accident. An accident?
As you know, I suffer from amnesia. I feared that if I could see, perhaps it would open my eyes to the truth I have been running from. I was scared.
You know what changed her mind? Hearing your defense in there today. She could feel your gaze, unwavering, always looking at the truth.
If the light returns to my eyes, I think I will take up painting.
Painting?
That's right! She's the landscape painter in sound after all! I will paint the two of you, I promise. Woohoo! I can't wait, Lamoir!
I owe you my thanks too, Apollo. Thanks, Mr. Wright, but for what? You reminded me when I needed to hurry things along. On my secret mission, that is. Right, your secret mission.
Apollo, Trucy, I hope we will meet again someday soon.
You bet! Me too!
Yay. And so, like a ballad, the trial flowed on until it came to an end. And I finally learned how to say the word ballad. Thanks to the trial.
The Guitar Serenade was a huge hit. For all the wrong reasons. I mean, damn, someone died. Prosecutor's Gavin's even more dazzling to look at now. But there's something I want to say to that guy. Something really weird and uncomfortable.
Have them catch the killer at the end.
I think I forgot to say one of the words. Ballad. Yeehaw! And so that's that on that. Woohoo! But that's some shit we ain't doing today. Get a good old savey save. Uh-huh. But we'll be doing that next time. So I'll see you guys on Wednesday. But just a reminder, I know I mentioned this on yesterday's stream, but I will not be streaming on Friday because I will be going to Katsucon. I will be gone, so I don't know, maybe you'll see Andy or Fred on Friday. Probably Andy, maybe Andy. Say Andy. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter. You can also follow Games Repainted on Twitter. Remember, you can also join the Games Repainted Discord. I would also recommend following my personal Twitch, because starting in March, we will start streaming from our personal Twitch, which doesn't really change too much for you guys. It changes more for us. It just means that I would suggest following my personal Twitch account, which I should start throwing up on the end card. It's the same username as I use on Twitter, PRSMAEYA, well, on Twitter and everywhere. Prismaya is my username on pretty much everything if you're looking for me. So go ahead and give a follow to my personal Twitch account, just so when I transition over to streaming on my own channel, we can kind of move along smoothly. Okay? Alright, so I'll see you guys Wednesday. Y'all have a good night. I love you, bitch! Ballad.